You've been grinding, showing up, trying to stay positive, doing what they told you to do, but still, you feel stuck, like something inside of you is screaming, "There's got to be more than this." You ever felt that? That ache in your chest when you realize you were meant for more than bills and broken dreams? That whisper that shows up at 2 a.m. and asks, "What happened to the life you promised yourself?" Yeah, I've felt it too. See, most people go through life asleep, trapped in routines, surviving instead of living. But not you, because you wouldn't be here if something inside of you didn't still believe, still hope, still dream. I want to speak directly to that part of you, the part that's been buried under self-doubt, under responsibilities, under trauma, under reality. Because I was buried once too. Broke, overwhelmed, feeling like I had nothing to offer this world. But then I found something that didn't just inspire me. It ignited me. It wasn't just a book. It was a spark, a mirror, a call to rise. That book was Think and Grow Rich. And I know. You've probably heard the name before. Maybe you skimmed it. Maybe you thought it was just about money. But let me be real with you. Think and Grow Rich is not just about wealth. It's about power, mental power, emotional power, spiritual power. It's about reclaiming the most dangerous weapon on earth, your mind. It taught me one core truth that changed my entire life. You become what you think about most. So be careful what you allow to live in your mind. That hit me like a lightning bolt. Because when I looked at my thoughts, they weren't rich. They weren't abundant. They were soaked in fear, scarcity, and survival mode. So I made a decision, a scary, wild, soul-level decision, to take my mind back. And from that moment on, my life slowly began to shift. Not because of luck, not because of timing, but because I started thinking differently. And that's what this is about. I'm not here to summarize a book. I'm not here to read quotes at you. I'm here to give you 15 life-changing lessons, inspired by Think and Grow Rich, that will break chains off your mindset and wake up the part of you that's been asleep for too long. This is personal. This is emotional. This is spiritual warfare for your dreams. And I want you to do more than listen. I want you to feel, because these lessons saved me, and they might just save you too. Throughout this series, I'll ask you questions. I'll challenge your thoughts. I'll speak to the version of you you're afraid to admit exists. Don't resist it. Lean in, because the world has enough people playing small. But you were born to be more. So take a deep breath and say this out loud with me. I'm not broken. I'm not behind. I've just been thinking small. But today, I rise. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Your desire must be unreasonable. Let's start here. No one ever changed their life with a dream that was reasonable. Reasonable dreams don't move mountains. Reasonable dreams don't break generational curses. Reasonable dreams don't keep you up at night, pacing the floor, heart pounding, because you can feel your destiny pulling at you like a magnet. You know what that's called? That's called unreasonable desire. And it's where everything begins. I didn't always have it. I used to be scared of wanting too much. Scared of dreaming too big. Scared of what people would think. Scared of failing in front of people who already counted me out. So I kept it small. Polite. Realistic. But realistic dreams are where dreams go to die. Let me ask you something. What do you really want? Like, really? Not the safe answer. Not the one you say in interviews. Not what you tell your family just to avoid judgment. I'm talking about the truth that lives under your ribs. The one that hurts to admit. Because it's so damn big, you don't know if you're even allowed to want it. That's your unreasonable desire. And it's time to stop hiding it. I want to tell you a quick story. There was a man named Edwin C. Barnes. He wanted to go into business with Thomas Edison. Not work for Edison. Go into business with him. Wild, right? He had no money, no connections, no special talent. But he had one thing most people lack. He knew exactly what he wanted. And he wanted it badly enough to hop a freight train across the country just to knock on Edison's door. And you know what Edison said when he saw him? He said he looked like a man who was determined to get what he came for. Barnes didn't get that partnership overnight. It took years, menial jobs, humility, persistence. But in the end, he got it. Not because he was the smartest, but because his desire was unreasonable. Pause here. Be honest. What's your business with Edison moment? What's the thing you want, but have been too scared to admit? Write it down. Say it out loud. Because clarity is power. And you'll never chase what you won't name. Now listen closely. People will try to shame your desire. They'll call it greedy. They'll call it selfish. They'll say, just be grateful for what you have. And yes, gratitude matters. But gratitude should never be used as a leash. You can be grateful and want more. You can love your life and want to expand it. You can appreciate where you are without settling. Stop letting small thinkers convince you to shrink. You weren't born to be average. You were born to burn with purpose. And purpose doesn't come from playing it safe. Say this with me. My desire is not up for debate. I don't need approval to want more. I don't owe anyone an explanation. I was built for more, and I'm not sorry for it. Let's go deeper. There's a lie we've been sold. And that lie is this. If it's meant to be, it will happen. If it's meant to be, you'll have to fight for it. You'll have to sacrifice for it. You'll have to lose people. You'll have to grow in ways that terrify you. And yes, you'll fail. Sometimes publicly. Sometimes painfully. But let me promise you this. The cost of staying stuck will always be greater than the cost of trying. Always. Here's your mission. Today, write down exactly what you want. Be precise. Don't say, I want more money. Say, I want to earn $15,000 a month doing work I love. Don't say, I want freedom. Say, I want to wake up at 7 a.m., work from my home studio, and travel 3 months a year. Your dream can't find you if it doesn't recognize its name. And after you write it down, visualize it, feel it, speak it like it's already yours. Do that every morning, every night, until the universe gets the message. You're not playing anymore. You're not hoping. You're not trying. You're becoming. Let me leave you with this. Most people die with their dreams still locked inside them. Not because they didn't want it, but because they were too polite to claim it. Don't let that be your story. Desire is not weakness. Desire is divine. It's the proof that something greater is trying to be born through you. So don't suppress it. Don't silence it. Follow it. Because the moment you decide that your dream is non-negotiable, the universe starts rearranging everything to meet you. Say it one more time. I give myself permission to want what I want. I give myself permission to be unreasonable. I am not waiting anymore. I choose desire over doubt. I choose purpose over politeness. Comment below. What is your unreasonable desire? What are you no longer apologizing for? If this lit a fire in your spirit, like the video, subscribe for the next lesson, and share this with someone who needs it today. Lesson 2. Faith is identity, not just belief. Let's be real. We talk a lot about belief. Just believe in yourself. Have faith. You gotta believe to achieve. But most people have it wrong. Faith isn't just something you feel. It's something you become. Let me explain. See, I used to believe in my dreams. I'd write them down, visualize them, repeat affirmations. But deep down, I was still hoping, still thinking like the old me, still walking like someone who didn't believe it was really possible. And that's when it hit me. Faith isn't passive. Faith is an identity. You don't just believe in the goal. You become the version of you who already has it. Let me show you what I mean. When you truly have faith, you stop negotiating with fear. You stop doubting your path every time it gets hard. You stop asking for signs, because you become the sign. That shift changes everything. You stop saying, "I hope it happens," and you start saying, "I know it's done. I just haven't arrived at it yet." I want to ask you something deep, and I want you to answer honestly. Who do you think you are? Not who you want to be. Not what your past says. Not what your bank account says. Right now, this moment. Who do you see when you close your eyes? Because the version of you that lives in your mind is the version that shows up in your life. Reflection break. Take a moment right now. Picture your highest self. The version of you that already has the life you crave. The money, the freedom, the peace, the confidence, the power. How does that version of you think? How do they dress? What do they tolerate? What do they never allow? Because if you can see them clearly, then it's time to become them. Now, not when the money comes, not when the fear goes away. Now, let me tell you a secret. Every time you act like your future self, you speed up the arrival of your dream. Because you're not just waiting anymore. You're walking like it's already yours. That's faith. There's a passage in Think and Grow Rich that still gives me chills every time I read it. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration and translates it into its spiritual equivalent. You know what that means? Your thoughts plus your belief equals the message you send to the universe. And the universe doesn't respond to begging. It responds to alignment. So let me ask you, are your thoughts aligned with your dream? Or are you speaking wealth while thinking fear? Are you writing affirmations while doubting yourself in secret? Are you praying for change, but preparing for failure? Faith is not lip service. It's embodiment. You want to build a business? Start acting like a business owner. You want to be wealthy? Start managing your money like someone who respects money. You want to be confident? Speak like your voice deserves to be heard. You can't wait for the belief to show up. You have to become the belief. I remember when I was just starting out, I was broke. I had no team, no audience, no plan B. But I made a decision. I will walk like it's already done. So I started showing up differently. My energy changed. My language changed. I stopped calling myself a beginner. I stopped saying someday. I started saying, this is who I am now. And things started shifting. Not because of luck, but because I was finally in alignment with my next level. Here's your challenge today. Stop trying to believe. Start acting like the version of you who already knows. Wake up and move like it's done. Make decisions like it's done. Protect your energy like it's done. Because if you wouldn't do it as your future self, why are you doing it now? Reflection prompt. What is one thing your future self would never do? Write it down. Then stop doing it. What is one thing your future self does daily? Write it down. Then start doing it. That's how faith becomes real. Say this out loud with me. I don't chase my dream. I align with it. I don't just believe. I become. I don't beg for change. I embody the change. Faith is my identity now. This isn't just mindset work. This is spiritual authority. Because when you become unshakable in your identity, life bends to match your conviction. That's the lesson Hill was really teaching. And that's what most people miss. They wait for proof. But faith is the proof. Let's close this out. If you only hope, you'll hesitate. If you only wish, you'll wait. But if you know, you'll move. And that movement will create momentum. And that momentum will open doors. And one day you'll look up and say, I don't recognize my old life anymore. Because you became the version of you who was already living it. And that's what faith really looks like. Comment below. What version of yourself are you stepping into starting today? Who are you becoming without apology? If this lesson touched your soul, like the video, subscribe for the next one, and send this to someone who's struggling to believe in themselves right now. Because they don't need more proof. They need more identity. Lesson 3. Burn the boats. You don't need a plan B. Let me be brutally honest with you. Your plan B is killing your plan A. And no one wants to say it out loud. We've been taught to be safe, to have a backup, to be realistic. But here's what they don't tell you. Plan B is the enemy of destiny. Because as long as you think you have another option, you'll never go all in on the one that matters. You've probably heard the phrase before, burn the boats. But do you know where that comes from? It's from a real historical moment. Spanish conqueror Hernán Cortés arrived in Mexico in 1519. He was vastly outnumbered. His men were scared, and he needed them to commit. So what did he do? He burned their ships. No retreat. No backup. No, just in case. Only forward. Only victory. Or death. Now, I'm not asking you to risk your life, but I am asking you to risk your comfort. Because every time you keep a plan B on standby, you're telling the universe, I don't really believe in this. I'm not fully in. I need a way out. And guess what? If you expect to fail, you will. I know what you're thinking. But what if it doesn't work? Let me flip that. What if it does? What if this crazy idea is the exact thing that changes your life? What if going all in is the only way to finally break through? You'll never know until you decide. And I mean decide in your soul. No more halfway. No more trying. No more dabbling. All in. Let me speak to your excuses. I have bills. So did every successful person who took a risk. I have kids. Then show them what it looks like to chase a dream with fire. I might fail. You might. And then you'll rise again. Stronger, smarter, hungrier. Failure isn't fatal. But fear of failure? That'll poison your future before it's even born. Reflection prompt. What's your plan B right now? Be honest. What are you holding on to just in case this doesn't work? A job you hate? A relationship you've outgrown? A mindset that plays small? Write it down, and then ask yourself, is this saving me? Or is it slowly destroying me? I had a plan B once too. A job that paid the bills but killed my soul. I told myself I'd chase my dream after I got stable. But months turned into years, and years into regret. Until one day I said, enough. I gave my dream a deadline. I burned the boats, and I've never looked back. Did it get hard? Absolutely. But I finally had skin in the game. And when there's no way out, you find a way through. Here's what burning the boats looks like in real life. You stop entertaining offers that don't align with your vision. You stop making decisions based on fear. You stop using phrases like, if it doesn't work out. You stop asking for permission to be great. And you start acting like someone with nothing to lose, except the old version of you that's been holding you back. Here's your challenge today. Identify the boat you need to burn. It might be a comfort zone, a toxic routine, a limiting belief, a side hustle you hate that's draining your energy from your true calling. Whatever it is, name it. Thank it for getting you this far. Then light the match. Say this with me. I am not available for average anymore. I'm not waiting for a guarantee. I'm not interested in the safe path. I choose to go all in, because anything less is death by comfort. Let me give you some truth. Nobody remembers the people who played it safe. The world rewards those who commit like their life depends on it, because it does. So if you've been waiting for a sign to finally go all in, this is it. If you've been praying for permission to leave Plan B behind, you just got it. You will never be truly free until you bet on yourself with no way back. Real faith isn't whispering affirmations. It's deleting the backup plan. It's applying for the LLC. It's making the call. It's quitting the wrong thing. It's staying up late to build what only you can see. It's saying, I'm willing to risk comfort, because purpose is worth the price. Another reflection prompt. What have you been delaying? Because you're secretly afraid to go all in? What's the worst that could happen if you fully committed? Now ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if you don't? Because the pain of regret will always be heavier than the fear of risk. This lesson is not for the faint-hearted, but neither is success. You're not meant to play small. You're not meant to straddle the fence. You're not meant to live half a life. So light the fire, burn the boats, and become the person who has no choice but to rise. Comment below. What's your boat? What are you walking away from today to step into your next level? Like this video if it woke something up in you. Subscribe if you're ready to keep leveling up. And share this with the one person you know who's been playing it safe for too long. Lesson 4. Auto-suggestion: rewire your mind or stay in chains. Let me ask you something you probably haven't heard today. What have you been telling yourself lately? Be honest. When no one's around, when you're staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., when the bill is overdue, when the dream feels far away, what's the voice in your head saying? Because that voice, that's the voice creating your future. Napoleon Hill called it autosuggestion. It's the process of feeding your subconscious mind with repeated thoughts and beliefs until they become truth. Not just thoughts, truth. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a joke and a prophecy. It believes whatever you repeat. So if you say, I'm broke, I'm tired, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, guess what? Your brain says, got it, let's create that reality. This isn't theory. This is how the mind works. Your thoughts become instructions, and your brain, your subconscious, just follows orders. So let me ask you again, what are you programming yourself with? Because if you don't take control of that programming, the world will do it for you. When I finally understood autosuggestion, I realized I was hypnotizing myself with failure. Every day, every thought, every time I said, maybe one day, I was delaying destiny. I had to change the script, because your mind is a garden, and your words are the seeds. You either plant weeds, or you plant weapons. Let's get tactical. Here's what I started doing. Every morning, before the world got in, I spoke my future out loud, even when I didn't believe it yet, even when it felt fake, even when my voice cracked. I said things like, I am wealthy. Money comes to me easily. I am powerful. I am the kind of person people want to work with. I am unstoppable. not because they were true in the moment, but because I was making them true. What's one negative phrase you've been repeating to yourself? You know the one. The one that plays like a loop in your head. Write it down. Then flip it. Example: I'm always broke becomes: money flows to me in ways I couldn't see before. I'm terrible with discipline becomes: I am becoming the most focused person I know. I'm not ready yet becomes: I'm ready now. Growth happens in motion. Your words don't just describe your life, they design it. So speak carefully, because the things you say after "I am" are shaping who you're becoming. I want to challenge you. For the next 7 days, start your day with these 5 power affirmations. I am worthy of abundance in every area of my life. I am becoming the person my future depends on. I am focused, disciplined, and powerful. I attract opportunities that match my vision. I am no longer available for anything beneath my purpose. Say them out loud. Record them in your voice. Play them on loop if you have to. Because repetition is the key. Let me break it down. You've got 60,000, 80,000 thoughts a day. And about 80% of those are the same as yesterday's ice. That means your brain is living in the past, unless you interrupt the pattern. And the way to interrupt it is with intentional language. If you keep saying, "It's hard," "It's taking too long," "I'm not like them," you're building mental prisons. But if you start saying, "I'm growing," "I'm aligning," "What's mine is finding me," now you're building momentum. Say this out loud with me. I take control of my inner voice. I reject every lie I used to believe. I replace it with truth, with power, with purpose. My thoughts are creating a life I'm proud of. And it starts today. Let's get real. Nobody successful speaks to themselves like a victim. Nobody confident repeats doubt on a loop. Nobody unstoppable allows their past to write their future. You've got to speak to yourself like someone you love, like someone who matters, like someone with a destiny too big to play small. Comment below. What's one affirmation you're claiming for the next 7 days? Let's flood the comments with power. Let's rewrite the inner dialogue together. And if this hits you deep, like the video, subscribe so you never miss a moment like this, and share it with someone who's drowning in doubt right now. Because sometimes the loudest voice in the room needs to be your own. Lesson 5. Specialized knowledge. What you know isn't enough. Let me tell you something they don't teach in school. Information is not power, because if it was, Google would have made us all millionaires by now. We live in a world drowning in content, but starving for results. You've probably read the books, watched the podcasts, taken the courses, heard the quotes, but you're still stuck. Why? Because knowledge alone doesn't change your life. Only specialized knowledge does. This was one of the hardest truths I had to swallow. For years, I thought I needed more information. So I kept reading, kept learning, kept waiting for that one missing piece. But looking back, I didn't need more knowledge. I needed direction. I needed to stop learning everything and start mastering one thing. Napoleon Hill said, "General knowledge, no matter how vast in quantity, is of little use in the accumulation of money. The faculties of the great are specialized." That hit me, because I realized something. I was becoming a library. Instead of becoming a weapon, let me ask you this. What do people know you for? Not what you think you're good at. Not what your resume says. But when your name is mentioned, what do people associate with it? Because if you're just kinda good at a bunch of things, you become invisible. But when you master one skill, one solution, one lane, you become unforgettable. And unforgettable people get paid. Let me give you examples. A general contractor struggles. A specialist in custom rooftop solar panels gets booked out. A general coach is hard to trust. A coach who helps moms lose weight without giving up carbs? Booked. A content creator who posts everything? Confusing. A content creator who helps burnt-out workers escape 9-5S using AI tools? Winning. Do you see it now? The riches are in the niche. Not in knowing everything, but in owning one thing completely. I remember when I committed to this. I chose one skill. I went deep. I made it my identity. I stopped watching every YouTube guru. I stopped jumping from idea to idea. I chose one mountain, and I climbed it. And let me tell you, when the world sees you master something, they pay attention. Because confidence comes from clarity. And clarity comes from specialization. Here's what I want you to do. Pick your lane. What's one skill, one outcome, one mission you want to be known for? Study it with obsession. Not casual, not convenient. Obsession. Study the best. Copy excellence. Practice daily. Package it. Turn it into something that helps others. Your knowledge is not for hoarding. It's for serving. Reflection prompt. What's one area in your life you've been dabbling in? When you should have been dominating? Write it down. And commit to going all in. Because the difference between the person who dreams and the person who earns is specialization. Say this with me. I no longer chase information. I chase mastery. I don't want to know a little about everything. I want to go deep, build skills, and become irreplaceable. I choose to become the best in my lane. Here's what I know. You're smart. You're hungry. You've got the fire. But you need to focus it. Because a focused flame burns hotter, cuts deeper, moves faster. No more distractions. No more shiny objects. Pick your weapon. Sharpen it daily. Use it boldly. That's how legends are made. Let me leave you with this. You don't rise by knowing everything. You rise by doing one thing better than most. So well they can't ignore you. So deeply that people pay for your mind. That's what Think and Grow Rich really means. Comment below. What skill or gift are you ready to specialize in? What do you want to become undeniably great at? If this lesson helped you focus, like the video, subscribe for the next one, and share it with someone who's drowning in information, but starving for clarity. Because clarity wins. Lesson 6. Imagination your future can't be built on logic alone. Let me tell you a truth that most people won't accept. Logic will only take you as far as your past, but imagination will carry you into your future. You can't build a new life using the same thinking that built your current one. And you can't escape your circumstances until you start dreaming beyond what's realistic. Napoleon Hill called imagination the workshop of the mind. He said it's where every idea, every fortune, every miracle begins. And he was right. Because everything you see right now, the device in your hand, the car you drive, the house you live in, used to be somebody's imagination. Let that sink in. Your entire reality was once someone else's crazy dream. So why are you afraid to dream boldly? Why are you letting logic decide what's possible? Why are you letting numbers and statistics and opinions limit the infinite potential inside your soul? Let me tell you something. The people who change the world are the ones who see what isn't there. Yet, I want to tell you a story. There was a man who dreamed of flying in a time when flight didn't exist. People laughed, said it was impossible, said gravity would never allow it. But the Wright brothers imagined anyway. They saw wings before the world believed in sky. They saw speed before the world saw runways. And because they dared to dream, we fly. Now let's bring it back to you. What vision have you been silencing? Because it doesn't make sense? What dream have you hidden away? Because no one around you believes it's possible? Here's the truth. They don't have to see it. Only you do. And when you see it clearly, when you build it in your imagination first, the world starts catching up. Reflection prompt. If you could create anything and no one could stop you, what would you build? What would your days look like? Where would you live? What would you wear? How would you serve? This isn't fantasy. This is the seed of reality. Because if you can't hold it in your mind, you'll never hold it in your hand. Here's what most people get wrong. They wait for their circumstances to change before they start imagining something better. But your circumstances are just a reflection of your past imagination. That's why visualization is so powerful. Because the more you visit the future in your mind, the faster it shows up in your life. I used to think dreaming was a waste of time. I used to believe I had to face facts, work hard, be responsible, be logical. But logic got me bills. Logic got me burnout. Logic got me stuck. Imagination? That gave me hope. And hope gave me momentum. And momentum changed everything. Let's make it practical. Every morning before the world gets to you, I want you to sit in silence for 5 minutes. Close your eyes and walk through your dream life in detail. Where do you wake up? What's the view from your window? Who texts you first thing in the morning? What does your bank account look like? How does your body feel? What's on your calendar today? Make it so vivid. Your brain thinks it's real because your brain doesn't know the difference between a memory and a powerful visualization. Use that. That's how you hack belief. Say this out loud with me. I am not limited by what I see. I am guided by what I imagine. My dreams are not crazy. They are creative instructions from my future self. I will not shrink to fit logic. I will expand to fit vision.
Real talk. The people around you might not get it. That's okay. Imagination is often lonely at first because you're building something they can't see yet, but soon they will. Because what begins in your mind will eventually show up in your results. Stay faithful to the vision, even when the path looks blurry. One more prompt. What's one part of your dream life that you've never dared to visualize in detail? Today, you do it. Write it out. Speak it out. See it so clearly. Your current life starts to feel like a misfit. Because that tension, that's the bridge to breakthrough. Let's bring this home. Imagination isn't childish. It's creative warfare. The battlefield is your mind, and the enemy is small thinking. But now you have a weapon. Use it. Use it daily. Use it boldly. Use it like your future depends on it, because it does. Comment below. What's the most audacious vision you're choosing to imagine right now? Not someday. Not eventually. Now, like this video if it expanded your mind, subscribe so you never miss a lesson, and share this with someone who's been thinking too small for way too long. Lesson 7. Decision success belongs to the decisive. Let me hit you with something real. Indecision is a silent thief. It doesn't knock. It doesn't scream. It just waits until your dream is too old, too faded, too buried to matter anymore. And by the time you realize it, it's already taken years from you. Napoleon Hill said it clearly. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly, if ever. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them often and quickly. Think about that. Success doesn't come to the smartest. It doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the decisive. You know what kills more dreams than failure? Hesitation. You sat on the idea too long. You overthought the move. You waited for perfect timing, perfect certainty, perfect conditions. And in the process, you watched someone less qualified take the very thing you were praying for. I used to live in analysis paralysis. I'd think and think and think some more. Should I start the channel? What if no one watches? Should I invest in the course? What if I waste my money? But indecision didn't protect me. It paralyzed me. And the truth? The moment I started deciding fast, My entire life accelerated because every time you delay a decision, you delay momentum. And momentum is what makes average people unstoppable. You don't need more clarity. You need more courage. You don't need more time. You need traction. And that traction comes the moment you say, this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing it now. Reflection break. What's one decision you've been avoiding? One move you keep postponing? One choice that scares you because you know it would change everything? Write it down. Right now. Because clarity lives on the other side of decision, not before it. Here's the truth. Indecision creates anxiety. Decisiveness creates momentum. Indecision says, what if I'm wrong? Decisiveness says, what if I learn? Because even the wrong decision moves you forward. Standing still. That's where dreams rot. Let me give you a powerful framework I use. Does it align with my future self? Yes. Move. Does it create growth even if it fails? Yes. Move. Am I afraid because it's risky or because it's real? If it's real, move. Because real things feel risky, because they matter. I had a mentor once say, stop calling it procrastination. Call it what it really is, fear wearing a mask. And that hit me, because procrastination is just indecision with lipstick. You're not lazy. You're afraid. But fear doesn't get to lead anymore. Say this with me. I decide quickly. I move with power. I don't wait for perfect conditions. I create momentum and learn as I go. Here's the truth you've been waiting for. The most successful people don't have all the answers. They just move anyway. They commit. Then they figure it out. They don't sit around doubting themselves. They trust their vision. They respect their time. And they know that every day spent hesitating is a day they'll never get back. Your challenge today, pick one decision you've been avoiding. Make it. Today, don't ask 5 people. Don't research it to death. Don't pray for another sign. You've had signs for weeks. This is your sign. The life you want is sitting on the other side of that one bold choice you keep putting off. Let this be the day you finally say, I'm done waiting. I'm done dooding. I'm done delaying. I decide. Comment below. What's the one decision you're making today that you've been afraid of? Say it. Claim it. Then move on it. And if this hit deep, like the video. Subscribe for the next lesson. Share this with a friend who's stuck in limbo right now. Because limbo is where dreams go to starve. Lesson 8. Persistence pressure creates diamonds, not comfort. Let's make something clear. Talent doesn't guarantee success. Genius doesn't guarantee success. Even faith alone doesn't guarantee success. You know what does? Persistence. The kind that doesn't care how tired you are. The kind that keeps swinging when the crowd's gone home. The kind that whispers, just one more step, when everything inside you is screaming to quit. Napoleon Hill said it best. Persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. Without persistence, your dreams will never have the strength to survive the pressure of life. And let's be honest, life will test you hard. Not because it hates you, but because it needs to know you're serious. I've failed more than I want to admit. I've launched things that didn't work, spoken dreams into empty rooms, poured my soul into projects that got ignored, and I almost quit more than once. But something in me refused. Because deep down, I knew every time you refuse to quit, the pressure builds your power. Every tear, every setback, every moment of doubt, it was sharpening me. It was making me undeniable. Let me tell you a story. When Hill studied the greatest success stories of his time, men like Edison, Ford, Carnegie, he found one common trait. They refused to stop. Edison failed over 0 times. Before inventing the light bulb, 10,000. But he didn't call them failures. He called them data. He said, I found 0 ways that didn't work. That's persistence. And that's why you have light in your room today. Réflexion prompt. How many times have you given up right before the breakthrough? How many goals have you buried alive? Because it didn't work fast enough? Be honest, because speed is sexy. But it's persistence that builds the life you really want. We live in a world of instant gratification, fast likes, quick dopamine, next day delivery. But real success? That's delayed gratification. That's showing up after the hype is gone. That's falling in love with the boring, brutal, quiet work that no one claps for. Let me ask you this. Can you stay faithful to your vision when it looks like it's not working? Can you keep showing up when no one is watching, no one is praising, no one is buying? That's the test, and most people fail it. Not because they're weak, but because they don't know. The universe doesn't reward the first try. It rewards the last man standing. Say this out loud with me. I refuse to quit. I don't need it to be easy. I need it to be mine. I will persist until it breaks, or I become too strong for it to matter. Here's the truth. No one tells you. Most people quitte à 40%. The winners, they don't even start showing up until it gets hard. That's when the separation happens. That's where your power is forged. The discomfort, that's the signal. The struggle, that's the fire. The breakdown, that's the moment before the breakthrough. Challenge for today. Think about something you gave up on too soon. What if you had pushed just a little longer? What would have happened if you persisted for 90 more days? 30 more? Even just 6 semaines more. Now ask yourself, what would happen if you picked it back up? Today, I'm here to tell you, if you're tired, rest. But don't you dare quit. Take a breath. Cry if you need to. But then get back in the game. Because someone out there is living your dream. Just because they refused to stop when you did. Let that burn. Your persistence toolkit. Set one small, non-negotiable task per day. Even on your worst days, do that one thing. Track your streak. See how long you can go without breaking it? Celebrate consistency, not results. Because the results are always lagging behind your effort. Rewatch this when you want to quit. Remind yourself, quitting is always the easiest way to go back to being average. And you're not average anymore. Comment below. What's something you're going to persist in no matter how hard it gets? Let us know. Say it out loud. Seal it in your spirit. And if this reminded you of your strength, like the video, subscribe so you never forget who you are. And share this with someone who's about to walk away from something sacred.
Lesson 9. Power of the mastermind. Your circle is either fueling you or draining you. Let me ask you something that might hurt. Who's in your circle? Really? Who are you surrounded by every single day? Do they challenge you or coddle you? Do they remind you of your potential or your past? Because here's the truth. You will never outgrow your environment. You will only evolve to match it. Napoleon Hill called this the mastermind principle. He said every great success story was the result of 2 or more minds working in perfect harmony toward a common goal. And that's when it hit me. I couldn't win this game of life if I was playing with people who weren't even trying to keep score. Let me be honest. For years, my circle was filled with people who didn't believe in dreaming. They settled, complained, mocked ambition, laughed at growth, and I stayed small to survive around them. But I didn't realize I wasn't just surviving, I was suffocating. Because you can't breathe life into your future if you're surrounded by people who only speak death. Reflection break. Think of the 5 people you spend the most time with, online, in person, at work, at home. Now ask yourself, do they inspire me or drain me? Do they hold me accountable or enable my excuses? Do they stretch me or shrink me? Because energy is contagious, and if they're full of fear, you'll inherit their doubt. If they're stuck in excuses, you'll absorb their limits. Let me say this plainly. The people around you are either multiplying your momentum or poisoning your power. You don't need a massive network, you need an aligned one. Even just one powerful, focused, truth-telling person can completely shift your destiny. I remember when I first found my real circle, people who spoke vision, people who didn't flinch when I said my goals, people who said, "Why not you?" And suddenly, my energy changed. Because I wasn't just dreaming anymore, I was supported, and supported people move differently. Here's your challenge. Audit your circle. Not with emotion, with clarity. Protect your access. Not everyone gets a front row seat to your future. Find your mastermind. That doesn't have to mean millionaires. That means people who get it, people who want to grow, people who see you. Let me give you permission right now. You are allowed to outgrow people without hating them, without explaining yourself, without guilt. You are not disloyal for choosing your future over their comfort. You are not selfish for saying, "I need more than this." You are responsible to your gift, to your calling, to your becoming. Say this with me. I choose alignment over approval. I protect my mind, my mission, and my energy. I only walk with people who are headed where I'm going. I am building a circle that feeds my soul. Let's get practical. Unfollow accounts that normalize mediocrity. Distance yourself from the constant complainers. Stop seeking validation from people who've never built anything. Reach out to that one person who inspires you today. And remember, your future is too important to outsource to small minds. Reflection prompt. Who in your current circle feels like an anchor? And who feels like wind? Start spending more time with the wind and let go of anything that weighs you down. Let's wrap it like this. You were never meant to do this alone, but you were also never meant to carry dead weight. So be bold, build your mastermind, or find one that's already rising, and align yourself with people who remind you of where you're going, not where you've been. Comment below, who's someone in your life who lifts you higher? Or what kind of people do you want to start attracting into your life now? Drop it in the comments, speak it into existence, and if this one hit home, like the video, subscribe for the next lesson, and send this to a friend who needs to protect their circle now more than ever. Lesson 10. Sexual energy transmutation, turning drive into destiny. Let's talk about something most people avoid, sexual energy. Now wait, this isn't about lust. It's not about shame. It's not about religion or rules. It's about power, raw, creative, world-shifting power, and how you've been wasting it or suppressing it, instead of transmuting it into your highest potential. Napoleon Hill wrote an entire chapter on this, and most people skip it. They get uncomfortable. They think it's irrelevant. But it's not, because what he was really talking about was desire, not just sexual in nature, but that primal, fiery life force inside you. And what you choose to do with it determines what kind of life you build. Let me be honest, you've got energy in you that could build empires, paint masterpieces, start movements, transform entire industries. But that energy, it needs a direction, because if you don't give it a purpose, it will find a distraction. That's what Hill meant by transmutation, turning raw energy into refined results, turning craving into creation, turning temptation into transcendence. This is about power, not repression, but redirection. I used to waste so much of my energy, chasing pleasure, numbing pain, scrolling mindlessly, running from my own hunger. But then I realized that energy wasn't a problem. It was a gift I hadn't learned to channel. And once I started focusing it, my creativity exploded, my discipline tightened, my clarity sharpened, because desire, when directed, is the greatest fuel on earth. Reflection prompt. Where is your energy going right now? Are you using it to build your life or to escape it? Be real. Are you addicted to quick fixes? Is your passion leaking through broken habits? Are you running from boredom instead of rising through it? Because if you don't master your energy will master you. Let's go deeper. Sexual energy isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual. It's the source of life itself, and you carry that spark. So the question becomes, what are you creating with it? Not just biologically, but mentally, financially, spiritually, because that same fire can burn down your purpose or forge your future. Here's how to transmute. Acknowledge the fire. Stop pretending you don't feel it. You're not broken, you're powerful. Redirect it toward your vision. When desire rises, channel it into your goals. Go work out, create, build, write, speak, design, lead. Train your brain to delay gratification. This one is key. You're not denying yourself. You're investing that energy in something higher. Let me give you something practical. Every time you feel that urge to scroll, to watch what you shouldn't, to chase something meaningless, pause and ask yourself, what can I build with this energy instead? Use that wave. Turn it into a reel, a journal entry, a chapter of your book, a business move, a creative burst. Train your body to obey your vision, not your impulses. Say this with me. I am not weak for feeling desire. I am wise for learning how to use it. I transmute temptation into action. I channel my hunger into my purpose. I am the master of my energy. Here's what they never told you. The same intensity you bring to physical desire, you can bring to your calling. You can pour that fire into your voice, your movement, your message. And when you do, the world doesn't just notice, it shifts. Because passion, when directed, feels like truth. Your challenge today, start observing where your energy leaks. Write down 3 habits that waste your desire, then replace them with 3 habits that build your life instead. Let your vision become the most attractive thing in your life. Let your future become your obsession. Let your purpose seduce your discipline. Comment below. What's one way you're going to start transmuting your energy, starting today? Let's talk about it openly. No shame, just strategy, just power, just grown minds building extraordinary lives. And if this gave you clarity, like the video, subscribe for more truth like this, and share it with someone who needs to remember their energy is sacred and meant to be used. Lesson 11, the subconscious mind. Reprogram your inner world or stay a prisoner to it. Let's strip it all back. Everything you do, everything you have, everything you attract, it's all coming from one place. Your subconscious mind. Not your goals, not your words, not your hopes, but what's underneath it all. Napoleon Hill said, "The subconscious mind acts first on the dominating desires which have been mixed with emotional feeling." In other words, it doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you believe, what you feel, what you've accepted as truth, even if it's killing your potential. Let me say this as clearly as I can. If you don't reprogram your subconscious, you will relive the same cycles forever. You'll change jobs but feel stuck again. Change relationships but feel unloved again. Make more money but still feel broke again. Why? Because your outer world will always match your inner programming. I remember when this truth hit me, I was doing all the things, reading, working, hustling, speaking success out loud. But inside, I still felt like a fraud, still felt undeserving, still felt like I was pretending, and my results reflected that. It wasn't until I went to war with my subconscious that things finally shifted. Here's what you need to understand. Your subconscious is always listening, and it doesn't respond to logic. It responds to repetition and emotion. Whatever you repeat, good or bad, with feeling becomes your identity. So if you keep saying, "I'm not good enough, I always mess it up, I'll never figure it out," your subconscious takes that as law. It says, "Okay, got it. Let's keep delivering experiences that match this belief." That's why affirmations work, but only if you feel them. Only if you saturate your subconscious with them daily. You can't speak abundance once and expect miracles. You've got to build a new mental groove over and over until your subconscious has no choice but to obey. Say this with me. I take back control of my mind. I speak truth, not fear. I plant belief, not doubt. My subconscious is a garden and I water it with power. Let me give you tools that actually work. 1. Affirmations visualization combo. Don't just say the words, see them, feel them. Example, say, "I am wealthy," while visualizing your bank balance growing. Feel the joy, rewire the feeling. 2. Rewrite old scripts. Write down every lie you've accepted as truth, then flip them. "I'm not disciplined. I am building a focused, powerful life. I always fail. Every challenge strengthens my comeback. I don't deserve love. I am love. I am safe. I attract respect." 3. Listen while you sleep. Put on subconscious reprogramming audios at night. Yes, it works, because your conscious mind rests, but your subconscious stays wide open. Reflection prompt. What are 3 thoughts you've been repeating to yourself that are no longer serving you? Write them down, then reword them with intention. Speak the new version every morning and every night, because that's how you overwrite the code. Here's what nobody tells you. You've been hypnotized your whole life, by your parents, by your school, by your pain, by your past, and if you don't wake up, you'll keep running programs you didn't even choose. But now you can choose. You can become your own programmer. You can be the architect of your inner world. And when your inner world changes, everything follows. Let me leave you with this. Your subconscious isn't your enemy. It's your servant. But it needs clear orders. It needs new beliefs. It needs to be flooded with the you're becoming. Because that version, the powerful, disciplined, joyful, abundant version of you, they already exist. You just have to install them into your identity. Comment below. What's one new belief you are choosing to install in your subconscious starting today? Say it, feel it, own it. If this helped you understand the power of your mind, like the video, subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson, and share it with someone who's stuck on the outside because they haven't done the work inside. Lesson 12. The brain. Your mind is a magnet. Use it or stay stuck. Let's get something straight. Your brain is not just a storage unit. It's a magnet. It doesn't just hold thoughts, it broadcasts them. It pulls things to you, people, opportunities, breakthroughs, or problems. The only difference? What you're tuned into. Napoleon Hill called it the broadcasting station of the brain. He said that thoughts, when combined with emotion, vibrate at a frequency that the universe responds to. Now, maybe that sounds a little woo-woo to you, but pause for a second and think about this. Have you ever had one of those days where everything goes wrong? You spill coffee, miss the train, your boss yells, you get home exhausted, and you say, of course, just my luck. But was it luck, or was it your frequency? Because your thoughts create momentum, and momentum attracts more of the same. Let me give it to you plain. Whatever you think about most, you start pulling into your world. If you think in stress, you attract chaos. If you think in lack, you repel abundance. If you think in gratitude, you create overflow. So the question is, what have you been feeding your brain? Because it's listening, and it's looking for patterns to match your dominant focus. It wants to be right. If you keep thinking, nothing works for me, your brain says, got it, let's find proof. And suddenly, every setback, every delay, every no becomes evidence that you were right. Not because it's true, but because you tuned into it. Here's the truth. Your brain isn't your enemy, it's your amplifier. It magnifies what you give it, good or bad, empowered or fearful, big dreams or tiny limits. So if you want different outcomes, you need different input. I used to wake up stressed. I'd grab my phone, check my notifications, scroll social media, read the news. Boom, chaos before 8 a.m. Then I wondered why my day felt heavy, why I was anxious, why I was stuck. It wasn't life, it was my frequency. So I changed it. I started feeding my brain power before the world could feed it noise. Try this. Every morning before anything else, speak your vision, out loud, then feel it, visualize it, anchor it. Do this consistently and your brain starts rewiring. You'll start noticing things that align with your goals, opportunities, ideas, people, energy. That's not magic, that's alignment. Say this with me. My mind is a magnet. I only think what I want to attract. I speak power. I feel abundance. I expect greatness, and the world responds to my vibration. Reflection prompt. What's one recurring thought pattern that no longer serves you? Write it down. Now flip it. I'm always behind. I'm exactly where I need to be to rise. People don't notice me. I attract attention with authenticity. I'm not lucky. I create momentum with intention. Install the upgrade. Repeat it. Feel it. Live like it's already happening. Because your mind doesn't respond to what's true. It responds to what's dominant. Let's get scientific for a moment. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system, S. It filters information. It focuses your awareness based on what you believe is important. If you believe money is hard to get, you won't even notice abundance when it's near you. If you believe you're not good enough, your RAS will ignore compliments, support, and proof of your greatness. But if you train it to expect success, to expect connection, to expect growth, it'll find exactly that. That's the mind's magnetism, and it's real. Your brain is not just for storage, it's a creator. It's your GPS, your amplifier, your filter. If you want better results, you don't need to hustle harder. You need to tune your thoughts and program your frequency. Let's wrap with this. Don't use your mind to rehearse failure. Use it to attract favor. Don't just repeat affirmations. Feel them vibrate inside you. Don't just wish for more. Think in a way that makes more inevitable. Because when your mind is set, the world starts bending to match it. Comment below. What new frequency are you choosing to broadcast starting today? Let's speak it into the algorithm, into your body, into your week. If this gave you clarity and power, like the video. Subscribe to keep the magnet strong, and share it with someone whose thoughts have been working against them so they can finally turn the signal in their favor. Lesson 13, the sixth sense, tapping into intuition, timing, and the flow of genius. There comes a point on the path where logic can't carry you any further, where the steps don't make sense, where the map fades, and all you're left with is intuition. That's when you've entered the realm of the sixth sense. Napoleon Hill didn't talk much about this principle until the end. Why? Because most people aren't ready for it. They want steps, they want structure, they want certainty. But this final key, it's not about knowing, it's about feeling. It's the quiet voice that says, call that person, take that risk, walk away now, wait, not yet. And when you obey it, life opens. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a moment where you just knew? No evidence, no confirmation, just a deep inner whisper that said, this is it. That wasn't luck. That wasn't random. That was your higher mind speaking. The part of you that sees the big picture before your conscious mind catches up. This sixth sense is what Hill called the door to the temple of wisdom. It's your access point to divine timing, creative genius, spiritual clarity. It's the intersection of all the work you've done so far, your thoughts, your desires, your faith, your discipline, your imagination, your persistence. When those align, the sixth sense activates. Let me be clear. This isn't magic. This isn't fantasy. It's awareness. It's trusting the signals your soul is sending through feelings, ideas, instincts. But most people ignore them. They say, it's just my imagination. I'll wait until I'm sure. I need more evidence. And in that hesitation, they miss the opening. Here's the real secret. The more you trust your intuition, the sharper it becomes. And the more you ignore it, the quieter it gets. Like a wise friend who stops speaking because you keep turning the other way. But when you finally learn to listen, ideas come faster. Opportunities find you. You take the right steps without overthinking. And it feels like magic, but it's alignment. Let me tell you how I started listening. I'd get those nudges, that random urge to write, to call someone, to post a certain message. And the moment I obeyed, it would lead to a breakthrough. One time I followed a gut feeling and emailed someone I'd never met. They responded within an hour with an opportunity that changed everything. And I realized the sixth sense doesn't shout, it whispers. And your job is to be still enough to hear it. Reflection prompt. What has your intuition been trying to tell you lately that you've been ignoring? What choice have you been overthinking when deep down you already know the answer? Write it down, then follow it. Even if it doesn't make sense yet, because intuition often sees the bridge before it's built. Say this with me. I am in tune with the highest version of me. I hear the whispers. I follow the nudges. I don't need to see the full picture. I trust the next step. Let me offer you this thought. The greatest artists, leaders, inventors, they all speak of this force. They call it flow. Downloads, instinct, divine guidance. It's not superstition. It's source. And when you've done the inner work, your sixth sense starts leading the outer world. Here's how to strengthen it. Silence. Give yourself 5 minutes daily with no noise, no phones, no talking, just space to feel. Obedience. Act on small nudges, even if they seem illogical. The more you respond, the stronger the signal becomes. Gratitude. Every time your intuition leads you right, say thank you. Reinforce the connection. This final principle is not just about success. It's about alignment. It's about remembering that you are not just a mind, not just a body, but a spiritual being with access to wisdom far beyond this world. And when you trust that flow, you stop chasing. You start attracting. Comment below. What's one decision you've been hesitating on, but your intuition already knows? Share it. Speak it into clarity. Let your voice become your compass. And if this final lesson resonated with your soul, like the video, subscribe to this journey and share this with someone who's looking for logic when what they really need is faith. Conclusion. This is not the end, it's activation. Take a deep breath with me. You made it. 15 powerful lessons. 15 transformations. 15 keys to unlock the version of you you've always felt, but maybe never fully trusted. Until now, you've learned that desire must burn hotter than fear, that faith is not belief, it's identity, that you don't need a plan B, you need boldness. You felt the shift from scattered thoughts to focused power, from noise to direction, from wishing to becoming. And more importantly, you didn't just listen, you reflected, you owned your pain, you rewrote your story, you showed up. That means something. That means you're not the same person who hit play. You've changed. Even if the world doesn't see it yet, you feel it in your posture, in your breath, in your focus. This is what growth feels like. Now listen to me. Don't stop here. Don't treat this as just another video. This is not entertainment. This is activation. Every lesson you just heard was a call to action from your future self, the one who's already living the life you dream about, the one who walks boldly, speaks powerfully, loves deeply, earns abundantly, leads with purpose. That version of you, they're not far away. They're just on the other side of consistency. So here's your next step. Rewatch the lesson that shook you the most. Take notes. Apply it for the next 7 days, every single day. Not perfectly, but with fire. Then pick another lesson and another. Turn this audiobook into a lifestyle. Because that's what the greats do. They don't just hear truth, they become it. Say this with me one last time. I have everything I need inside of me. I am done playing small. I will think differently. I will grow daily, and I will become rich in purpose, power, and peace. Let that sink in. Let that be your new standard. Before you go, comment below and tell me which lesson hit you the hardest. Which one are you applying first? Which one do you need to memorize until it rewires your soul? Let me hear it. Let others hear it. Let this be the start of your declaration, because words have power, and yours are ready to be spoken. If this journey changed something in you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who's been stuck in silence, someone who needs a blueprint, someone who needs a voice. Be that voice for them. Just like this was for you, this was more than content. This was connection. Thank you for trusting me to walk with you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for refusing to quit. Now go out there and build it. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Because you no longer just think, you know. And that is how you grow rich.